you.
So, and then just read without any questions. It's going to be too much. So one thing Sarah has to do is take care of the notes.
Okay, Steve.
She has to show everything. Because that was it's getting close to being starting to talk trying to fight. So the fact that will be hard. So hi, Dee. Come on in. I'll go around. Are you? I'll go around.
We're live. We're live. We're live.
I'm going to take this mask off. I will. Anybody notice that we've got kind of the Seven Dwarfs thing going on with the masks a lot?
Those ears.
It's kind of, I guess, the fun part, right?
You get to choose who you are. I think it's making jowls too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
I was at my daughter's school. They had an event yesterday in a park. And it was the first time we'd all been together without masks. And somebody came up, you have a lovely jawline. So good morning. Well, our family got to experience COVID in the last month, and it was, thank goodness it was the variant kind of a thing, because it was very much, the three of us just had what felt like the flu for a few days. But this is the first time I've gotten to sing anywhere since then, so if it sounds a little Kermit-like, you'll understand, right?
Kermit. It's a Kermit.
We'll give you a chance to sing a few songs, so we all get to sing together. So.
I'm not getting anything here.
Here's a song I jokingly say I have the honor of wishing I had written. So. Love is but a song we sing, it fears away we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Some may come and some may on, people now, smile on your sister. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. If you hear the song we sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your sister. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Try to love one another right now. Try to love one another right now. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I thought Ho'oponopono would be fitting for this time in our history, right? Maybe for everybody. Send it out to everybody having challenges in this world, whether it's violence or health or whatever, right? I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. Good morning. Thanks. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Boy, people showed up when I was like, had my eyes closed for a minute. Hello. So, I am so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're on Facebook. And even on Facebook, even if you watch us Wednesday, we're glad you're here. Good morning. We welcome you and greet you in the warm and loving nature of unity. One thing I love about unity is that it leaves nobody out. We don't care what faith you are. We don't care who you love. We just want to embrace you and invite you in that love of God. And I can never say, ho, 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 pono, ono, ono, but I understand it. So, in unity, we bless and embrace people of every race, every culture, lifestyle, and creed. We honor and celebrate the many paths to God, the many names for God, and the many ways to experience God. We affirm there is only one presence and one power in this life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Please join me in saying that again. We affirm there is only one presence, one power active in your life and mine, God the good, omnipotent. So I get to do double duty because I get to do the daily word today. And it's one of my favorite words, freedom. I started counting the days from the time I was 13 to when I got my driver's license, because to me, that's freedom. And yes, anyway, taking responsibility for my life leads me to freedom. Each life has its share of ups and downs. Like most people, I have felt blessed by my happy experiences and laid low by the more difficult ones. I have used the spiritual gifts of forgiveness and gratitude to learn from and move beyond my more painful experiences. Again, I have used the spiritual tools of forgiveness and gratitude to learn from and move beyond my most painful experiences. This kind of spiritual housekeeping is my key to lasting freedom. By releasing blame and regret over and over again if necessary, I am ensuring that I will not be bound by the past or limited by an outworn image of myself. Life is dynamic, and so am I. Yes. My growth depends on my forward movement, and I commit to embracing freedom that comes from leaving the past behind. Whoosh. With gratitude, I bless the person I was. With faith, I reach unencumbered for the person I am becoming. And from Galatians 5:13, for you were called to freedom, brothers and sisters. So, we get part of our gratitude service. We have Connie Munro. Well, we could give a long speech about all of what we know about Connie. But let's suffice to say she's been our friend for a long time, and she's a licensed Unity teacher, so she is steeped in Unity. And thank you for Steve Mason. Oh my gosh. By the way, you are going to just like revel in the music that's coming, even though we've had a little bit of a gift of it. And our faithful Sunday team is here. We have Jerry. Yay! We have Jerry and Sam. And that's Gould and Long. And then we have Gail with a coffee and Louise with a flower. So we are set. Our prayer ministers are active and wish to support you in prayer. We have this lovely prayer box over here. If you're on site, fill it up. And then now once you fill it up, wait for the demonstration and take note. You can send your requests through info@unitysv.org, or you can just tell somebody. It doesn't have to be here. Just sing your song of praise. Ask God. That's all you have to do. Say, please God, thank you. But when you put them when you give us the request, we pray for them for 30 days, and then we send them to Silent Unity in Missouri, and there they get another 30 days. And if by 60 days something miraculous hasn't happened, try again. Because God, once I heard that, God says yes, but sometimes it's not now. So, we are in our gratitude phrase again. We want to thank everybody that has so generously given to the fund to ship Linda off to Unity Village so she can enjoy receiving that honor of the Myrtle Fillmore Award. I mean, we know Linda's so special, and you can continue to give if you like, so she can have some spending money and bring us home gifts. No. And we're putting a call out to volunteers. So I'm thinking most requests are less than an hour a month. So if you have an hour a month that you want to invest somewhere that you reap rewards, please let somebody know. You can let me know. Sundays, we need people to welcome people in the door. If you want to be on the hospitality team, Gail Marple is there, and she has everything divvied up. She is so efficient. We always have opportunities to refresh a beautiful building or anything. So if you think that something needs to be done, come on and let us know. You can email us back at info. You can talk to Jerry, you can talk to me, you can talk to Louise, Heather, any board member you see. You can just say, I want to help. Or I want to serve, and I want to be part of the greater good. So, and one last thing, on the 29th of this month, Memorial Weekend, we get to have a potluck. So see Gail, or just bring some yummy thing. But come on in, come and enjoy fellowship and food. So I think that's all. Anybody have anything else? Oh, we can purchase Daily Words over on the sideboard over there. That beautiful little altar to prayers and Daily Word and whatever else can show up there. So visit over there. And if you're sitting at home in your jammies, get dressed some Sunday and come and visit us. We're kind of fun. So now I am going to turn the music over to Steve.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Ward had sent me an email, and he said, we're doing things a little differently now, and so we're going to do a lot more sing-alongs. I'm like, okay, that sounds fun to me. So, so we'll start. I love doing mashup things. I guess they used to be called medleys. It's the same thing, isn't it? The mashup medley. I think so. I got to tell you, I get a message from my son today. He's 33. He's the youngest son, and he's on a plane. He has just left Croatia, and he's on his way to Morocco. He and his buddy teach courses on German as a second language, and they do it through poetry slams. And it was just like, I just had to share that with somebody. It was really cool. He says, hey, it's free messaging on this plane. I just read it, and we have like 15 minutes before we land in Morocco. And I'm like, dude, I want to live your life. I'm just so happy for him. So, well, I'll finish the story. Oldest son is in Rome and flying to Croatia with his wife today, and they didn't meet up. Okay, riddle me this. Which is actually the song we'll mash up into. But first of all, let's do this. This is kind of my nighttime song for my child who's still at home, who's 10. And we sing this one at home at night. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Well, riddle me this. Let's start with a question. May I make a patriotic suggestion? Can our hearts take the lead in this historic time? 'Cause this land is your land and it's mine. Riddle me this. Can we choose to walk in freedom and walk in each other's shoes? Can we be unified today with all that's happening? And ask some questions worth considering, like who we gonna trust? Could anyone be choosing profits over us? Am I wrong, or is this thing gotten serious? And is it safe just to ask a question? Riddle me this. Riddle me this. Well, here's the thing. How it hurts to see so many people suffering. And if we comply, don't we have everything to lose? Well, you know, I think we do. Oh, say, can you see the fading flag of our American dreams? Will our founders' words be washed away? What would those who fought for freedom have to say? If those who gave their lives were here today? Riddle me this. What about our kids? Will future generations know what freedom is? May our hearts take the lead. Oh, it's not that much to bear. 'Cause this land is our land and it should be theirs. Will this land someday be theirs? Riddle me this. Riddle me this. 'Cause this land is your land and it's my land. Down to those Gulf Stream waters. Riddle me this. Can we pose some questions for our sons and daughters? this, riddle me this. Riddle me this. Thank you.
Thanks. Let's spend a meditation. I'm going to read something that I would like to treat as a meditation today because it's been related to what I'm going to talk about a bit later. So if you could just relax and just put aside whatever it took to get here this morning. And think about the treasure at our feet. It's said that it's not easy to find happiness in ourselves, and it's not possible to find it elsewhere. If forced to name them, the biggest obstacles to peace are ourselves and the world. Often en route to the truth of my soul, I get stuck in myself or lost in the world. Or the reverse. Still, we carry the treasured essence within. It's always with us, very near, though it may seem very far. And there is no place else to find the treasure but underneath our agitation. It waits there like gold on the bottom of a shallow lake, and though we stand in the water, the treasure at our feet, the stirring of our reflection keeps us from seeing. More often than not, I need to stop moving and thinking and fixing and simply reach within myself. So run if you like, for it will all come with you. Or think and reason as many times as you must. For your heart will outlast the ripples of your thought. Or blame the things of this world if you need to, for the things you blame will eventually disappear. Then you and I will still be left with ourselves and the world and the treasure at our feet. We share this blessed moment knowing that we will always have the Christ Spirit within to guide us through these times. Amen.
I wrote this song thinking about my sweetheart and my kids, and when I would say goodbye to them when I was traveling a lot, I would realize when I would get to where I was to sleep that night that I didn't remember looking deep into their eyes when I left and said goodbye, and so I wrote this song for them, and then it dawned on me, much like what Connie was saying, the idea of looking within and looking at our feet. I think we need to do both of those things. I don't know if it's simultaneous or not, but... And it all starts with dandelions. Let the sun shine, let the dandelions grow. Let the hummingbirds hum, turn the ringer off on your phone. Let the rain drop, let the frogs croak, let the bees buzz, let the laundry sit and soak. Instead, just look into your loved one's eyes. Take a good long look or two. There's so much we can set aside. And just enjoy the view. Just enjoy the view. Let the moon rise. Let the crickets crick. Let the wind howl and blow. You don't need to manage any of it. Let the mercury drop. Let the flakes float down. Let it snow deep and drift. Let it cover this whole town. And meanwhile, take a look down deep inside. Into your heart now, that's a view. It's where your world of love resides, where you'll find your own true you. Just enjoy the view. Look into your loved one's eyes. Take a good long look or two. So much we can set aside, and just enjoy the view. Take a look down deep inside. Into your heart now, there's a view. It's where your world of love resides, where you'll find the real you. You'll find your own true you. Just enjoy the view.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's amazing. We didn't talk in advance about what I was going to speak about today, and somehow the pieces of music you've chosen are uniquely applicable to the whole subject matter. Maybe there's some patterns going on in the universe here that tell us about what we need. I just want to start off saying thank you so much for the invitation to come today. You know, I really miss you folks, and we're doing some work up in Bellingham. We now have a Unity minister, newly ordained, Reverend Frank Castro-Ware, and he's starting off just doing a great job. And he and his wife have moved here from California. And so I've been trying to support that by doing some teaching, and we just finished a 7-week class during Lent. So, and the last time that I was here, there was nobody else in the room except the tech people. so I'm really glad that we've gotten to the point where we can get back together. So when Reverend Linda texted me about speaking today, I accepted right away, wanting to make sure that she had some time for some relaxation with, and get away for a bit. But I texted her back and asked her if there was any particular theme she wanted me to address. And her reply was, no theme, just tell them about what inspires you these days. You know, she's got a real talent of knowing what people need to hear. And quite apart from that message providing me some direction about where I should go today, it was also a real reminder to me that each of us, particularly in this time, really need to continue to inspire ourselves. And the reason that I could tell that I needed that reminder was because my thought, when I first heard her say inspire, I thought, actually, I don't feel so much inspired these days. In fact, I find myself feeling pretty angry much of the time. And, I've done enough personal work over the years to know that anger is a secondary emotion, and most often arising out of fear. And there's a lot out there that's going on in the world that can trigger fear. Like many of you, I'm a baby boomer, right? Born in 1949. I mean, we thought the Vietnam War was our generation's experience with wartime. And here we are, 2022, and watching another European war. And we're literally watching, in that every day in great detail, often in real time. We see it on our phones, we see it on our television sets, all of the horrors and the misery that war entails. And at the same time, I mean, here in the US, I often feel that fellow citizens are waging a kind of war with each other. And again, we get to experience that through modern media, both on and off the internet, in a kind of constancy. So in the face of these difficult situations, it's helpful to remind oneself of our personal responsibility to remain attuned to the sources of inspiration in our life. And I guess I'm familiar with experiencing a place of frustration, fear, and anger, mostly because for many years in my pre-retirement days, I was quite involved in politics. And the one thing that I do know is that when the going gets tough, when I'm struggling to remain positive and forgetting in the moment the spiritual principles that I know to be true, I know to look to my mentors and teachers that have taught me over several years. And as a result of what they've gifted me, I've accumulated in my psyche what I regard as a real treasure about to the principles and ideas that I need to be reminded of once in a while to access these treasures, to bring those wisdom words forward in my consciousness, and to develop the habit of applying them daily. So while there's several sources of inspiration in my life by way of activities and interactions with family and friends, the real deep sources have been the teachers I've encountered and connected with over the years, and I've really been blessed with several spiritual mentors who really have the ability to provide a transformative presence in one's life. These teachers can embody and enliven the insights that I might otherwise simply read about or without really appreciating their depth. Finding a source of inspiration in your life, it's no small matter. It's assisting each other in our journeys, and I think that's part of the reason why that people are truly grateful of the ability now to gather again, because we've really missed this connection. But whether you're here in person or whether you're here online, I believe that it's important to remember that the goal in seeking out a source of inspiration, it's not just for the purpose of a feel-good moment. Rather, to speak in terms of unity principles, it's the way that we strengthen one of our 12 soul powers, and that's our power of understanding. And that power of understanding is something that comes more from feelings than from our intellect. It's a way of seeing the world that we can't simply learn about in theory because it's rooted in our experiences, and particularly the experience of doing our spiritual work, and hence the importance of the teachers that I spoke of. Now, I've had, as I say, several teachers in life, but one exceptional teacher has been the Reverend Billy Blaine. And I believe several of you may actually have come to know Billy over the years. I mean, she had ministries in California, Ohio, and Oregon. And actually, while visiting me in Bellingham on at least a couple occasions, Billy came here to share the service with Reverend Linda, because they've known each other for many years in their service to unity. So, in addition to her being my minister when I lived in Portland, Billy really became a true mentor to me as I went through to become a licensed unity teacher. And over time, we became very close friends, and we'd share hotel rooms, and we went to convention, and we went off to Toronto to attend the World Parliament of Religions together, and sometimes we even just went on a holiday. Billy made her transition in October 2020. And she was in her 90th year. Because of COVID, we'd not been able to visit in person for several months beforehand. But shortly before she passed, Billy sent me a book. And it was a book that she had just published. Proceed as Way Opens. It's a collection of the blog posts that she'd done during the last few years of her life, and had published them online in evolvingspiritministries.com. But she worked in the last days of her time in this world on putting them together in a book, and it came out shortly before she passed. So I'd like to share with you some of what Reverend Billy had to say in this book, and much of it references the valuable spiritual lessons that she taught me over the years, and collectively they've been a really powerful source of inspiration for me. She wove together traditional unity approaches with her extensive personal work in Buddhism, Jungian psychology. She'd studied for many years the work of Teilhard de Chardin, and she journaled every day that I knew her in the dialogue style taught by Ira Progoff. So she had, really a lifetime of spiritual study behind her, meditating, journaling, and reading a prolific number of books. Those were the hallmarks of her spiritual practice. So Billy's intended message in Proceed as Way Opens is really clear. And she just states it up front. She says in a section called Leaving a Legacy, she wrote, "Each of us will leave a legacy, will be remembered in ways that inspire or cause sadness, or maybe somewhere in between. What legacy will you leave for others?" And then she goes on to say, "We create our legacy with every thought and action, not just the ones we wish others would notice about us. Each moment we're leaving a trail to show others where we've been." And then she goes on to liken each of us to a pioneer stepping into an unknown landscape, making our way through life and having the potential to help others see and maybe avoid unnecessary suffering rather than adding to it. And she's very explicit in stating the legacy that she wants to leave. And that's a way of finding grace in difficulties. She wrote, "I want to leave a path that teaches how to enjoy each moment as it arises. I want to be remembered as someone who didn't give in to despair, but remembered to take refuge in the unknown and the calm." In other words, she wanted to demonstrate how you can inspire your own life. The book title, Proceed as Way Opens, it itself contains a lesson. The phrase actually comes from the Quaker tradition, which incidentally on the theological basis, Quaker traditions share a rather similar concept of the divine to unity. Quakers refer to the divine light within, or what we would call the spirit within, or the Christ within. So Proceed as Way Opens describes an attitude towards our journey that doesn't expect the path to be clear from the outset. Rather, it's assumed that Spirit will keep guiding you a bit at a time. Thus, the process of discerning what to do or where to go, it's not settled, but it has to be continually engaged. And what's required, therefore, is an ongoing connection to Spirit and listening to one's life. We're required to listen deeply. And Reverend Billy taught that deep listening comes with intention preceding attention. And basically what she's saying is that it requires time, and you have to plan for it in your life. Setting aside time for quieting the mind. Putting our conscious intention ahead of our habitual busyness. She regarded her daily meditation practice as vital, but emphasized that it shouldn't be a meditation that tranquilizes us, but one in which we pay attention to what our mind is doing with the intention of being truly aware. So the idea is to notice the path before you. What you're seeking is to be enabled in answering a critical question. Does this path seem to take me to where my soul desires to go? Towards peace, towards love, towards joy. One of the several people that Reverend Billy drew her inspiration from was Mark Nepo, and he's the fellow that wrote this day book, which is what I drew from this morning in our meditation. The book has a subtitle, Having the Life You Want by Being Present to the Life You Have. The meditation we opened with, as I say, came from that. When Billy writes about, in her book, about leaning into the angel of how, it's Nepo's Buddhist-based thinking that she's referencing. And it's a really important concept because we language our lives, and that language can make a huge difference because we can torment ourselves when we continually ask why. Why is this happening? It's really an unanswerable question because countless causes and conditions have brought it about. But the result of the why is an agitation in your mind. Consider the difference if instead of asking why, the question posed was, how will I meet this? How will I work with this situation? And since it's here, it has to be worked with. The process requires us to ask more open-ended questions and allow things to unfold in their own time and season. even if it's not what our ego wants. Living in uncertainty, that's the challenge. Uncertainty, that's when what was isn't anymore. But no matter what your desires are, this is how it is for now. And it will change. Fear tells us that everything's lost. But faith tells us everything is becoming. And we don't know what it'll become. So, in those circumstances, choice is the one thing that you have that won't disappear. You can choose what to focus on, and the only control you have is the choice that you make in the moment. Perhaps not everything is lost. Losses have a way of eventually turning into gain. It only takes perspective to see this, and perspective is always our choice. Conscious or unconscious. And we can choose to invite the unconscious into our awareness. When things seem to fall apart around us, it's important to know that life is always giving us another chance. We can always try another approach or idea. Love is the energy that's always working and evolving into something higher, something more complex. And this single energy of love uses every mistake for something good. Consciousness grows more complex as it gropes its way forward, and it makes mistakes, and we grope, for we are consciousness, conscious beings. But love gives us another chance to forgive and create. The universe doesn't have to do everyone right the first time around, or we wouldn't have evolution. If things had been created perfect and complete, there'd be no room for improvement and no need to evolve. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote a book called No Mud, No Lotus. It takes seemingly unending patience to sit with the difficulties, rather than trying to fix them or running from them or pretending that they aren't there. We allow ourselves to engage with the difficulties in our lives. We welcome the present moment, regardless of whether we find it pleasant or unpleasant, for a reason, and that's because staying present leads to wisdom. This is the way things are for now, and they can and will change. What it all comes down to is this. What are we really telling ourselves about life? Reverend Billy writes, our major problem in life is our case of mistaken identity. We think of ourselves as a separate self, while all the time reality is one. Nothing can be separate. There are no divisions, only distinctions. And feeling separate is a delusion, and it's a delusion that causes anxiety, and anxiety leads to unhappiness and suffering. Interestingly, this is also the message in what's really Unity's major textbook, Lessons in Truth by Emily Cady. She wrote that our unhappiness comes from believing ourselves separate from God. The Buddha taught 3 phrases or denials to use when caught up in anxiety. This is not me. This is not who I am. This does not belong to me. This is not me. This is not who I am. This does not belong to me. Being with each moment and investigating how I'm engaging with it, I experience far less upset about what happens. And this is a compassionate view of life. When we look back on our lives, we can see that often what looked like a great tragedy that eventually worked out to be a great opportunity. But we sometimes have to live through suffering. Reverend Billy quoted a wise Lama as having said, "What the world calls spiritual growth, ego calls one insult after another." So each seeming disaster and loss is an opportunity for something new to be born. And this is how the world evolves. As Reverend Billy says, this does not prevent my crying over things and grieving, but it helps me through them. Teilhard de Chardin states in his treatise on evolution, love is the single energy of the universe, and it's all here, within you and within me. Ours to use, but not to own. It sounds a lot like what Jesus prayed in John 17, verse 23. I in them, and thou in me. I'd like to close with offering you an affirmation. And the affirmation is one that Reverend Billy gave me several years ago. I can remember being on the phone when she told me this, so I must have been telling her how concerned I was about something. And she told me about an old Unity affirmation. I believe she related it as coming originally from Emma Curtis Hopkins. And I really hope you find it as powerful and effective as I have. I'll say it once, then in two parts, where you might join in if you wish, and in repeating it with me. Centered and poised in the Christ mind, nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Centered and poised in the Christ mind. Together, please. Centered and poised in the Christ mind. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Centered and poised in the Christ mind. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here, and bless you all.
Thank you, Connie. That was wonderful. And I want your hair. It's beautiful. So now we are in that part of our lesson, or our Sunday service, is when we get to give back, that we receive constantly from the universe. There's never a time that abundance is interrupted except within ourselves. So take a deep breath. Remember, we are so grateful for your ongoing gifts and love offerings. You can give here in the sanctuary. There is a lovely wooden bowl over there. Or you can make donations through unitysv.org. Now, I think maybe you just tattoo unitysv.org on the back of your hand, because that's everywhere you want to go at all times. So you can mail us a check. You can stick one through the slot. So, or you can call me and I'll come get it. Woohoo! We bless every single gift we receive. We bless it with love and the realization that as you give, the ministry continues to thrive. You know, we are so blessed to still be here. And we're just continuing to expand and see who else we can serve. and share that thriving. And what you give returns to you multiplied, pressed down and running over. And I know that's somewhere in the Bible, but I forget where. So take another deep breath. Let's bless our offerings. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. Let's do it again. I give joyfully and easily, because God is my source, and abundance is my true nature. Thank you for your generosity. See it going out to bless the world. So, as we get down to the last, please join us in the prayer for protection. So this time we're going to say around you, because sometimes it's us, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's me. So this time the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being with us here and there and everywhere. And we are going to sing our peace song in rows. In rows.
Okay.
It means we're not going to do the circle.
Okay.
So,
All right.
anyway.
Good.
So thank you for allowing me to be up here. Thank you, Connie, for being here. Thank you, Steve, for blessing us with your gifts.
Are you ready? Okay. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant